Hey guys, today I wanted to go in a bit more detail about the House of Wolves content that we know about. If you've been following our site, you probably recall the massive Dark Below and House of Wolves article that we published on November 17th. For anyone who may have missed that, I figured it'd be a good time to let you guys know about the House of Wolves content. I want to start off by bringing attention to the more recent article on our site that outlines all of this, because on that article you can just click on the links on the items in the database to easily see the perks and stats for yourself. Also, it's worth noting that the House of Wolves expansion isn't going to be released for another few months, so some stats and perks are bound to change. Just keep that in mind. Speaking of the release dates, as we speculated a few weeks ago based off the leaked image, it appears that the House of Wolves was planned for March 10th. Can we confirm that though? Unfortunately, we can't, and it's unlikely that it will be released on March 10th. As we stated in the article and video that we made discussing that leaked image, it's likely very old, and thus the info is most likely outdated. Recently, Eric Osborne, who works for Bungie, tweeted out this image. It's a clip from a movie, and as you can see, he edited in the leaked image. Now, is he saying the image is fake? I really don't believe so. What I do think he's trying to say is that the image is outdated, and so the dates and maybe even some of the info is now incorrect. I'd definitely be surprised if we actually got the House of Wolves on March 10th. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk legendary gear. There's of course new vendor items as well as raid gear. We're going to skip over exotic gear in this video because we already gave our initial thoughts about all of the House of Wolves exotics in another video. I do want to mention though that the Lord of Wolves exotic shotgun looks extremely similar to the gun that's hanging up behind Lord Shaxx. As for the legendary items, the perks are all standard and most likely just placeholders. There's no unique perk on any of the raid weapons or raid armor, so we'll just have to wait and see for those. The raid weapons definitely have placeholder images, but the raid armor thumbnails seem to be complete. What you're seeing now are images of what the raid armor will basically look like. Again, all of the perks on the raid armor are placeholders, but we'll definitely update you guys when we have unique House of Wolves perks. For the raid weapons, there's really not much to show off here since even the thumbnails aren't complete. On screen will be the raid weapons and their current stats, but obviously they'll change a bit later down the road. As of now, the raid itself is just called the Arena, and the simple description of Test Yourself, and it appears to take place on the Reef. Before we get into vendor gear, let's first talk about the Crucible maps and modes. The House of Wolves currently has 4 new maps: Thieves' Den on Venus, the Timekeeper on Mars, Black Shield on Phobos, and Widow's Court on Earth. Obviously, we haven't yet been on Phobos, but we have seen footage of it from Bungie in their Collector's Edition unboxing video. What you're seeing now is a snippet from a Rumble match on Phobos. Phobos is one of Mars's moons. Directly from Bungie, they say that Phobos no longer holds its original orbit. If the Cabal are capable of altering lunar orbits, what other incredible feats of planetary engineering could they achieve? There's no evidence to support that we'll go there in PvE yet, but we'll definitely go there in the Crucible and the House of Wolves expansion. We also have a snippet of what appears to be Widow's Court, the new Crucible map on Earth. Widow's Court is the only new map that's on Earth, so there's a high chance that this is that map. Again, these clips are from Bungie's Collector's Edition video. As for the Crucible modes, right now we only know of 3, and some of these may come before House of Wolves is even released. If you saw our Dark Below Grimoire video, you already know about these, but for those who haven't seen it, there's Doubles, which is basically just 2v2, and there's Inferno, no trackers, supers, or bonuses, only kills earn points, so for those of you who want a simpler PvP experience, Inferno sounds like it'll be for you. We assume these 2 are coming in Dark Below because their Grimoire entries are already available. The Grimoire entry that's actually not available yet, and the one that Bungie might be holding for the House of Wolves, is called Hardcore. The only description of Hardcore is that it has no trackers and only kills earn points. Alright, now back to the vendor armor and weapons. Again, a little disclaimer, the stats on these weapons are likely to change. If you want to read the descriptions for these items, just check out the article that's linked in the description, and you can hover over a link to see its tooltip. First off, we'll show off the Titan armor. This set is from the Crucible handler, so you'll buy these with Crucible marks. This set is from the Titan Vanguard, and you'll buy these with Vanguard marks. Here's the Warlock Crucible set, and the Warlock Vanguard set, and finally the Hunter Crucible set, and the Vanguard set. Finally, each class has 3 pairs of helmets that we assume to be from the factions. It doesn't look like these will be sold necessarily, but they may be a gift for ranking up. The vendor weapons are pretty varied, and of course there's Crucible and Vanguard weapons. The thumbnails look pretty basic for them, so they could be placeholders. So that's it for the gear that we currently know about. We'll update you guys if the perks are updated or if there's any specific raid perks that might give us some insights to the new raid. Lastly, let's go over the missions, strikes, and collection vendors. If you've been following us, then this is just old news, but if you are new to the channel, the House of Wolves story missions are Gone to Ground, search the Cosmodrome for the Wolf Kell who led the revolt against the Awoken. Wolf Harvest, track down the Queen's traitorous wolves hiding among the House of Winter. And the Terminus, hunt the Wolves Kell who has seized control of the Vex Citadel. You can see some of the footage we got of the Terminus. We have an entire video showing the area off and where to find the dead ghosts located there. There's also Queen's Wrath bounties for the missions titled Paskin, King Baron, for the Gone to Ground mission in the Cosmodrome, and Lixor, Wolf Blade, for the Wolf Harvest mission on Venus. And Skolas, Wolf Kell, in the Terminus mission on Venus. I know many of you want to see the Queen's Wrath event back, and I'm sure we'll see her in the House of Wolves expansion. I think Bungie just wanted to be sure that they improved the event enough before they brought it back, and what better time to introduce it back than with the House of Wolves. There's also the Traitor's Catch Strike, with the description, a fallen wolf ship holding an infamous walker has touched down in the Ocean of Storms. Breach the catch and see to this walker's end. Lastly but not least, collection vendors. Again, we talked about this in our Dark Below Grimoire video, so I apologize if this is old news to you. We assumed these were going to be introduced during the Dark Below, but apparently Bungie is waiting until House of Wolves to announce this. There's ship, shader, and emblem service vendors in the database, but they're not going to be selling stuff. They each are service vendors, just like the Vault, so it's probably where we'll be able to store our ships, shaders, and emblems. And that's about it. As items are updated and new stuff is uncovered, we'll be sure to make articles and videos about it to keep you guys informed. To check out all this information, head on over to the article that's linked in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been Patrick Casey with PlanetDestiny, your guide to the Destiny universe.